Good morning, everybody. This is Pope Binary here, and today I want to give you a very important lesson about basically the numbers behind Nadex. And every time that you place a bid or an ask, basically I'm going to teach you today what the risk is associated with each number that you place, like if that makes sense. So let's jump right into it. This will be a pretty short video, and so this slide basically, if you don't know the basics of Nadex, I'm not going to go into extensive review of it, but basically contracts will expire worth $0 or $100, and based off the 0 or 100 system that Nadex uses, I'm going to use the following. I'm going to use this information to calculate basically the overall amount of times you're going to have to win in order to break even based off a bid and ask price. And so a few things that you need to know. If you don't know what out of the money trading style is, I'll put a link in the description to my other video. But basically, out of the money versus in the money trading style, in the money is safer and out of the money is riskier, essentially. And then the other two things I haven't really touched on yet, but are extremely important and they alter these numbers that I'm about to show you. If you put take profits and stop losses, obviously this is going to affect the amount of time, the overall percentage of the time that you win. There's a quote out there, I don't remember by who, but basically it says you only have to win 3 or 4 times out of 10 so long as you know when to cut your losses really early, okay? And that's what stop losses are. And obviously, if you have larger capital or smaller capital, basically that just means with larger capital, you generally choose to take profit orders more, and you play more in the money, because obviously, if you're risking 1,000 upwards on a single trade, you don't want to wait for the expiration time. You want to go ahead and take your profit while you're ahead. And quite frankly, if you have a smaller capital, if you've got a $200, $300 account or less, I strongly recommend taking actually riskier trades, because if you lose $50, what's the worst that happens? You can literally just go out and valet park for a night and make $600, right? That's where I got all my money to begin trading with. And so let's go into the meat of the presentation. What I really want, I want you guys to commit these numbers to memory. If it means you have to take a screenshot, so be it. If it means you just sit here and memorize these, then by all means go ahead. But you really need to know these numbers. So what I have here is I have 4 distinct columns. I have a bid price, what your profit would be, based off the profit, what the payout would be, and based off the payout, what overall percentage of the time would you have to win in order to break even. So let's take this hypothetical bid. If you bid $25 and you win, you will win $75, meaning you'll have a 300% payout, right? Because your $25 will turn into $75. Based off of that payout, you'll only have to win 25% of the time in order to break even. Okay? If that makes sense, right? Because you can win 3 times and then lose 1 and you'll break even, right? And obviously, as the numbers get bigger, as you put more money on the line, you're obviously going to have to win a larger percentage of the time in order to break even, right? There's a direct correlation with that. But one thing I need you guys to understand is a lot of people, I don't understand why, they don't really capitalize off of these 2 numbers here, the 65 and the 35. Okay, so I want you to imagine that you see a trend breakout. Let's say, hypothetically, there had been a support level and all of a sudden there's a downtrend occurring, right? So if you put $65 on the line and you won, you would win $35, okay? Now, I want you to imagine the same scenario happen again. You put 65 on the line and you win. You would win 35. What would your total profit be? It would be $70, and if you guys know about Nadex has got a 90-cent spread, so essentially you would win $68. Okay? You would win $68. So no matter what, as long as you win 2 out of 3 trades, you will make money. Okay? Because let's say you place a third trade in the same scenario and you lose. You would lose $65, but you would already made $68, so you would have a $3 profit, right? So based off this strategy, you have a payout of about 52%, which means you only have to win every 2 out of 3 trades if you consistently bid this 65 number. And generally 65 is my magic number. And the same is true for ask prices, because obviously ask and offers, they're just the inverse of these numbers, right? So if it's an ask price of 65, right, or an ask price of 35, that means it's the same thing. You'll risk 65 to make 35, and so on and so forth. So these are the two numbers that honestly I don't see a lot of people capitalizing on. These are huge milestones in the bid and ask range. And another key thing that I want to point out before I wrap this video up is if you are an in the money trader and you trade $75 and up, just on $75, it gets worse as you go higher. But on $75, you're going to have to win 3 out of 4 trades just to break even. You will actually lose money because of the 90-cent spread that Nadex puts on. So unless you've got a system that is consistently winning, I strongly recommend sticking with the 65 value. Okay? Me personally, I have about a 700 sample size. I've got roughly a 77% win rate, roughly, based off of my live trades. Okay? And I want you to know that my 77% can trump this 66% odds any day. However, on a bad day, if I get a losing streak with my system, which, believe me, it happens. I've lost 8 trades in a row before. I literally was thinking about stopping trading forever, right? Everybody goes through that mindset. But when that happens, I cannot beat the 75 bid odds. You see what I'm saying? I cannot beat those odds. But with the 65 system, I can afford to slip up from time to time and still make a bunch of money. Right? So these are just numbers I really do think you guys need to commit to memory. Obviously, if you don't like this strategy and what I'm teaching you, feel free to do what you want. You are your own trader, and obviously, if you like super safe risk, then go ahead and trade the higher values. But me personally, I do not trade these. But yeah, subscribe for more. I'll keep you updated on what my strategies are, and I hope that you learned a little something today, specifically about the risk associated with these numbers that you're just throwing out there on a bid and ask price. Subscribe for more, and I'll catch you all in the next video.